Welcome to Teen Talk New York. I'm Shaquaid and I'm here with Sylvester, and we're going to talk about high school dropout rates and facts. So, number one is every year over 1.2 million students drop out of high school in the United States alone. That's a student every 26 seconds or 7,000 a day. What you think?
Probably, yeah, it's like, it's a bad rate, but it could be improved.
What age group do you think students drop out of school?
From probably, I'll say like 13 years old, like 8th grade going on to 12 high school.
Here's the fact. About 25% of high school freshmen fail to graduate from high school on time. I think that only happens when you leave school and you don't feel like you have to do anything, or you just feel like you do your own thing.
In my opinion, it's like when you leave school, it's like if you leave it for a good reason, then do that, yeah. But if it's not, you gotta stay in school and get your stuff done.
What would you call a good excuse?
Probably family family stuff, or certain stuff.
Have you ever had to leave school because of something like that? Do you think?
Yeah, of course. Like, if my family's in trouble, I'm gonna have to go and try to support them. Other than that, I'm gonna stay in school.
Here at the GED Pep Talk Center, we have pep talkers standing by to get you motivated for your GED diploma. Text the name Terry to 69222 for a sympathetic pep talk.
You show people what you really are.
Or for a gentle pep talk, text the name Deborah.
You know you're going to make people very proud of you.
And if that's not enough, text the name Danny for an extreme pep talk.
Prove everyone wrong. Show them you're the boss.
Get your GED pep talk and find free GED classes. Text the name of the person you want a pep talk from to 69222.
Welcome back to Teen Talk New York. I'm here with my co-host Sylvester and the producer of Teen Talk New York. We're going to ask each other a couple questions to see if we can answer them to our best abilities.
Well, yes. Well, first, I want to thank y'all because y'all doing an amazing job, and you're some of the most talented students that I've worked in the high schools, and you're representing your school very well. And of course, I created this show because it's a lot of serious situations going on. Kids are dropping out for a variety of reasons. They're coming to school under the influence, and there's a lot of different excuses. Let's keep it out. Excuses for why we're not doing certain things. So I want to share a couple of statistics with you, and then I have my own questions I'm going to ask you, and you can each answer them, as to the best of your ability and your personal opinion. Right. So if you didn't know, in 2014, the dropout rate among high school students nationwide continues to rise. In 2013, there were 38% of high school seniors were proficient in reading and a dismal 23% in math nationwide. That means less than 40% of high school seniors can read well on the level of a 12th grader, and less than 23% of graduating 12th graders are proficient in math. So here we are graduating into the world, but we're really not that good at reading, and we're even worse at math. What do you think about that?
I thought that high school was supposed to help you be able to read and be able to do math problems. But that just shows that it's a lot of kids out there that's on their way to college and they don't have a lot of knowledge on how to read and how to do certain problems.
Exactly.
Yeah, like a lot of kids is graduating without knowledge. Like, they won't know how to do a certain stuff. Like they gotta step their weight up.
If you can't read well, is that completely the school's fault?
No, not really.
Whose fault? Who?
Yours, because you guys are doing what you had to do.
Now, are students, in your opinion, do you think students accept accountability for their lack of effort?
No.
I think they blame it on the people that teach them.
Yeah, or they just not trying.
Because they don't want to take responsibility for what they are doing wrong.
Okay, so knowing that a good education is the key to success, we all agree with that, right?
Yeah.
Why, generally speaking, there's other ways to get there, but generally speaking, that education is knowledge, and it's your key to success. Why is it that we fail to follow the path that will lead to the success we all desire? Like, everybody wants to have great things. You want to have nice cars, you want to have homes, brothers want to be able to take care of their moms, but we're not doing the things that we essentially know, because we know pretty much hanging on the street, getting that fast money, whatever, it might have a certain type of allure. very few people graduate from the street life. You understand what I'm saying? Very few people hustle for 20 years and they retire with a pension from the hustle game. It just doesn't happen. Would you agree? Yeah. So I got a couple of questions, and either one you can answer, both of you or one of you. Why are so many students seemingly turned off by school/education and shun the educational process?
They probably are not getting that push to do what you have to do, or have anybody to sit there and talk to them about anything they're going through. Like here, if I'm going through any problems and situation, I'm going to talk about something, I could go to anybody. Like anybody's willing to listen. That's why I'm glad I'm in this school.
Yeah, I agree with her. You just don't have that certain person to push.
What role do you think parental involvement plays in a student's education? And are some parents too lenient when it comes to school?
I think that all parents should be involved in their kids' life, because that's another form of push to make them do what they have to do. If your parents telling you, go to school, do what you got to do, make me proud of you, you're going to go to make your parents proud.
Would you say that most people's parents tell them go to school, do the right thing?
No.
So you don't think most kids' parents are telling them to do the right thing? You think more parents are telling the kids to do the wrong thing?
I think they're not telling them anything at
them,
all.
yeah,
I think they think
all.
that they're old enough and more responsible to be able to go to school and know what you have to do.
Yeah,
know what you have to do.
They should know that your parents want you to do the right thing.
So let me ask you, do you think, even though a lot of teens want to act like they're grown and act like they know what it is, and maybe their parents aren't involved, do you think subconsciously, even without speaking it, teens want their parents to be a little bit more, basically, how should I say, putting their foot on their neck? You think they want their parents on, even though you get on my nerve, you beast, and whatever, but do you think somewhere deep inside they want their parents to be on their back?
Yeah, you need that certain push to get to where you want.
I feel like if they don't have that, or if they parents not doing that, they could sit there and they could have a conversation with their parent. And knowing that if your parents force you to do whatever you need to do to succeed, it's not like they don't love you or anything. That's showing that they love you by telling you to go do what you have to do.
What options do you think exist for those who lack education in this growing global competitive market? Because once upon a time it was like you were competing with other states or the country. Now with the internet and technology, it's a global market. We're all competing for the same jobs, because some jobs are being, you can call somebody and, to pay your credit card bill, and you're actually talking to somebody in India, right? Because jobs are in different places. So if you lack that education, how do you think that's going to affect you, trying to really compete in this global market?
You're not going to be able to do certain things that's needed to be done. And I think that there should be more jobs for certain people who can't do certain things. Like, not everybody have certain strengths in certain areas.
Let's talk about some urban public schools. Do you think urban schools have efficient tools to really help students, particularly those urban schools? Do you think the schools these days in 2014 have the tools that can really help the student population?
Certain schools probably don't have enough because they don't have enough money to provide them for the students. But if they do, certain kids is not gonna want to use the tools to do what they need to do.
Why do you think that is? Here's the tools. We spent the money. We have the tools, the resources. Why are you not taking advantage? Let's talk about it.
Our school research and service, we have a lot of technology for us to use: iPads, laptops, Promethean board, the Promethean tablet. We have a lot of stuff to use, and if they don't pull out these technologies, we're not going to be interested in school. That's what I think. If they don't use these technologies, nobody's going to be interested.
What steps do you feel need to be taken by education officials to make school more engaging? What do you think the schools and the education officials, and I don't mean officials, I'm not necessarily talking about just the chiefs or your principals, just the administrators, the superintendents, the chancellors of the school systems, the people who oversee it, the people who are not in the schools. What do you think really needs to be done to really help make the school more engaging to the urban population?
Do more activities, more fun stuff that kids are into, make it more interesting.
Yeah, because we do a lot of treads, We do different activities. We have the staff versus student games. Then we have the little kids from the other schools coming to our school, and we, play with them and do certain activities with them. And that's fun. And then when you do certain things, you always get a reward.
What steps do students need to take to become better performing students? Because now we got to put the accountability. We can always talk about what the schools are not doing, or what they're lacking, or what officials and the misappropriations of monies. But ultimately, the student, it's not always the school, because the school has the resources, but you don't take advantage of it. You can't really put it on the school. So what steps do you think the students need to take to become better performing students?
Well, first of all, you just need to stop procrastinating. Like, don't have lots of conversation with your friends. You gotta listen to the teacher, do your work, hand in assignments that your teacher gives them to you, and do your job.
I think it's mostly that students need to be more responsible. Because the older you get, the more responsible you should be, is how I feel. And if you're not responsible, I don't know. I think being responsible is the key to life.
Well, my final question I want to ask you is, and we'll have more discussions about them, but this one, how can we as a community, because ultimately, there's an old adage, right, African adage, it takes a village to raise a child. So how can we as a community begin to reverse this growing crisis in our communities if we are truly going to evolve to greater levels of success? Only we know what we really need. A lot of times it seems like we depend on people that's not from our communities, that don't know our plight, that don't know our struggle, that don't really care about our struggle, to fix it and make it better. To me, that doesn't really make a lot of sense. So, what do you think as a community, and that's everybody, the old, the young, what do we need to do to just start turning the table? I mean, there's no overnight solutions, but what do you think some steps need, what do you think some of the steps that need to be taken to really start trying to change this trend? Because if we don't change this trend, if this dropout rate and the lack of proficiency in reading and math, we're in serious trouble. I mean, we're in trouble now, and it's not getting better. So, for your elders, your people who y'all out of school, y'all know what we need. What do you, talk to me, what do you think, how can this community help the youth? What can we begin doing?
Well, I feel like right now there are certain people in the community that are trying to help, and it's not working. Because I feel like everything that the people in the community in my community that are trying to do, I think that is good. Like, I just think more parents should be more involved in the kids' lives.
So the parents. So what about the people who might not have parents? Like, you don't have a parent. What about when you live with maybe you live with your older brother, or you live with your sister, or you live with your grandmother? Your grandmother's 75, you're 17. Really, grandma can't run back and forth to the school. She can't be on your neck like that. Why are we so reluctant to just do what we know we're supposed to do? And why, when we're put on blast for not doing what we're supposed to do, we want to fight everybody like they're wrong, when deep down we know we're not handling our business? Like, what is it with teens? Why are teens so reluctant to accept responsibility for their actions and their futures? In your opinions, teens?
Well, I haven't had that situation, but I guess from another person's point of view, I would say that they don't want to listen to anybody. They don't want to be told what needs to be done. They feel like some people think that they're more responsible to be able to handle certain things and be like, I'm responsible, you don't need to tell me what to do, when that's not true at all.
They feel like they grown and they able to do anything they want. Mm-hmm. Like just calm down.
Do you think teens need to step up their game when it comes to really respecting and listening to the directions of their teachers, their parents, other people in the communities trying to give them some direction?
Those directions and instructions they're giving you is only to help you and benefit you in the long run.
Like, I'm not saying like you gotta listen to the teachers and certain other adults all the time, but most of the time they are telling the truth. Like, they telling you the right thing to do. So yeah, you need to do that.
All right.
We're gonna take a break and we'll be back with our final thoughts. Teen Talk New York.
life's this hard, graduating can be even harder. But you can help Ativa and the students in your community make it through by visiting boostup.org.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Have you been a dad today?
Welcome back to Teen Talk New York. We've shared some facts about high school dropouts and had questions about the dropout rates and about high school students and how they feel about certain situations. And I want to give y'all pieces of advice. Be responsible. Do what you have to do, because if you don't do what you have to do, you're not going to benefit from any of it. You need your high school diploma to do what you have to do. You need these things. You?
Yeah, you need to like stop fooling around and do what you need to do to get a good job, support your family, do all types of stuff for your future life, like so you could get good money and have a great life.
I'm Shaquasia. This is Sylvester, Teen Talk New York, and Research and Service. See y'all later.